Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm using acrylic paint as watercolor. So this is watercolor paper. And for my paint, I've got, you just want like a kind of a dull yellow, like yellow ochre or something like that. Kind of a dark red or just plain red would work. This is burnt umber. And then some color of blue, more of a dark blue. So anything close to that will work, and we can make a variety of colors with those. So what I'm going to do is use my synthetic round brush, and the first thing I want to do is get it wet and start laying in my water where I want my color to be. So down here I want it to be dark because my light is coming from up here. So I want this to stay fairly dark, but I don't want to cover the whole thing. I want to keep it keep some of the white showing through, just to give it that watercolor look. But along this edge I'm going to have it solid, and then just leave little white specks there. So for this dark area, I'm going to mix some brown and some blue, and I want it very watered down. And when I tap it in, it's just going to bleed into wherever I put water. So I'm barely touching the tip to the water, and it's pulling it out of the brush. And I've got my paper taped to a canvas panel, and I've got it tilted up a little bit so that the water will run better. The colors will run into the water better. So like I said, I want this fairly dark down here. And I'm going to lay in some water up here, which I still want it dark up here. But again, leave white specks showing. So sometimes you have to get at a certain angle where you can see where you've put the water. And as I move this way, I'm going to leave more and more white showing. So I'm going to put less water up through here. But I'll just have to do that like one step at a time. I'm going to go ahead and get some color laid up here. Now if you get too much water, like right here, it's puddled up and it's getting close to dripping here, so I'm just gonna mop up some of that. Okay, so I don't want to leave this completely white over here, so I do need some color, but I don't want it to be dark. But if you just tap that color into the wet paper, it will pull it right out of the brush. And the more I water it down, the lighter it is. So over here where I want it lighter, I'm adding more water to it. I want to define my road here with solid color and then leave white specks up here. Okay, now I want to get it even darker over here. And you can just keep adding to it, making it darker and darker. So basically, the less water you add, the darker it's going to be. So I'm defining my road edge and then leaving white areas everywhere else. So I still want it to be light over here. But not white. I'm going to come back with a paper towel and just drink up some of that excess color. So I still want it to be a little bit darker. When my brush disappears, I'm picking up water, so I don't want to hide anything from you. I want this really dark. Now with just water, I can pull that wherever I want it. Okay. So I think I've got the light and dark that I want. So what I'm going to do now is let this dry so that I can see if it lightens up too much, I'll need to darken it. Because when watercolor paper dries, it lightens up the pigment. But I need it dry anyway to put my people in. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Okay, so now this is nice and dry, and I'm happy with the gradation in color. So I'm going to leave that part alone, and we'll go ahead and start on the figures. So I've moved to a smaller round brush that still has the tip on it. Now these shapes are very simple to paint, and you can paint a variety of different, like, they might be doing different things, walking different ways, wearing different clothes, whatever. And you can add different colors in there just to make it more interesting. So I'm gonna mix up just any old shade to start with. Okay, so to make these shapes, you want to start with, and this is very watered down paint, start with a head, add a little, like just a shape for the body. When you do the legs, if you put the legs kind of at an angle like that, then it makes it look like they're walking. So if you want them standing still, then you can do them straight down. You can add things happening there, whatever. And I'll go ahead and show you this one completely, and then with the rest of them, I'll just do them step by step. But so to complete this one, I'm using a thinner paint, more watered down, because my light source is coming from over here. That means my shadows are going to be going this way. So I just want to start right here and just drag in a shadow. And that's pretty much it, unless you want to add different colors to it and different shades, like if you want. If you want the hair darker, maybe. Like the head. You could do like that. If you wanted to make a distinction between the shirt and the pants, you could do that. If you want it to look like the light is even brighter over here, then you could darken the shadow. So there's a variety of things that you can do with these little figures. Some could be wearing dresses, so just get creative with it. And I'm going to go ahead and put in some more of these. So with each figure, I'm just going to kind of change up the color a little bit, just to make it more interesting. This is a really simple way to add figures into your landscapes or any painting. And with watercolor, it's a whole lot easier than it is with acrylic, but you can do the same thing with acrylic, really. And I might do a tutorial on that soon. And if you make one leg shorter than the other, then it gives the illusion of that they're walking too. So there's a lot of things you can do to these figures to make them look different, like they're doing different things. If these are dry up here, and they are, then I can go ahead and start overlapping. If they're still wet, you can't do that because it'll just all bleed together. These are just so much fun. There's so much you can do with them. Maybe this one's wearing a long coat. there's even little things to think about, like, okay, like, see where I've got his legs coming down like this, and one is shorter than the other, which means it's in front of him. And so I've separated my shadow here and left that gap in between the legs where the light is shining through. So little things like that you can do too. I could really just go crazy with this. There's so many options. Okay, let's see if that's dry enough. I think it is, where I can overlap it. Maybe this is a dress. Okay, and I just made the decision that they're going to be holding hands. So I think I'll give her some long hair. Once you start doing these, you're really not going to want to stop. There's just so much to do with them. All right, now I think I'll come back and kind of change the shade on some things, maybe make things, some shadows darker or something. So, let's see. Because the darker your shadows are, the brighter it makes the sun look, or the light. Okay, so I think you got the idea. I'm going to stop there. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's really fun, and I really hope you give it a try. And again, this was acrylic paint. You can use it as watercolor as long as you use the watercolor paper. That's the main thing. So enjoy it, and until next time, God bless you.